This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. So yes, we're already up to the 4th generation of Samsung folding phone, so it folds like so, making it a delightfully compact phone with a 6.7-inch display, OLED, once opened up, and we've got the 1.9-inch outer display. We're going to look at it now. So this is the year when not a whole lot changes, but if this is your first time thinking about getting into a folding phone, this is still worthwhile to watch, and I'm still a big fan of folding phones. Now, one thing has changed, and it's probably the most important to most people, and that's the battery life is improved. It now has a 3700 milliamp battery, so that's 400 milliamps more than its predecessor, plus the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor that is better for battery efficiency and also better for reducing heat, so the phone doesn't get so toasty. So you put those together, and the one fatal flaw for me trying to use the Flip 3 as an everyday phone was the battery life just wasn't great. It was hard to get through a day with moderate use, and now absolutely not a problem. You're still gonna have to charge it at bedtime at night. You're not gonna roll over into the next morning before you have to charge it up like an S22 Ultra, which is a much physically larger phone, to be fair, more space for a battery, but it's pretty good. It's normal, shall we say. It's similar to an iPhone 13 non-Pro model phone. So that's not bad at all, so yay. Good to see some improvement. Another change is the sides of the phone are now straight. They're a somewhat glossy metal. It's that aluminum frame that Samsung uses, but the straightness means it's easier to hold on to. So the Flip was always a slippery phone and very thin, not much to grip on. So now I feel like I have a positive hold on it, and the glass is no longer glossy on the back of it. So they call it hazed, maybe not the most attractive word, but it's a frosted, sort of almost frosted, but not going as far as frosted, maybe hazed is the right word, glass on it. So it's still glass, it still has some slipperiness, but it doesn't go sliding across the table automatically like the older Flip models did, so that's an improvement. It's available in 4 colors. We have the Bora Purple, which is a cool color, and there are still the bespoke editions where you can choose the back glass colors and mix and match 2 colors on the back if you want. I don't know if those are the hazed finish or not. I assume that they are as well. Actually, I ordered one of those, so we'll see how that comes in. So there'll be follow-up from this review, no doubt, so you can find out about that. So those are the biggest improvements, and there's one more, 25-watt faster. I think Samsung calls it super fast wireless charging. So that's good too, instead of the 10 watts. So you can get 50% charge in 30 minutes. So if battery life isn't apex amazing like an S22 Ultra, it's not so bad when you can charge it up quickly. Of course, it supports Qi wireless charging 2.0 as well, and it does reverse wireless charging. Samsung said they made the hinge a bit slimmer. I can't really tell. It may be a little bit less bulky, but it feels better, kind of stiffer in a good way, like it's firmer and more sure, and setting it up in the tabletop mode like you can do if you want to shoot video and use the bottom half of the phone as a tripod, and all those things, it feels nicer. The same is true of the Fold 4 as well, which I'll be reviewing too. They've improved the hinge feel. Now, in terms of the durability on this, it has a screen protector factory installed, and like all Flip and Fold models except for the original generation ones, it is removable. So it's not like the first gen where peeling the screen protector off would destroy the display or something like that, but I don't recommend removing it. Leave it on there. If you have a problem with it, if it starts bubbling up or creasing or cracking too much, Samsung will replace it, or they do sell replacements on Amazon for those of you who are of a mind to do such things. Now, here's a catch. So Samsung, in their Unpacked event, announced that they would have the Samsung Care Plus included, but not in the United States. So if you're in the United States, you don't get that free of charge for a year like we did with the last generation. You got to pay, I think it's like $8 a month or $11 a month if you want that extra level of service. Your warranty, in theory, should cover you if the glass spontaneously cracks on that inner display. Samsung doesn't have the best reputation in the United States for not, they've been giving users a hard time sometimes and saying it's your fault when probably it wasn't, but you can fight with them, work that out, or go if you're near a Samsung Experience store. They're really pretty helpful there and nice about replacing them. That said, I have owned every iteration of the Flip and Fold, and I have not actually had a screen crack on me. I know other people have, but I haven't had that happen, so take that with a grain of salt. So one thing that Samsung did change is it used to be if you had under warranty, well, things get fixed for free, but if you had Samsung Care Plus and you did a whoopsie and broke the screen or something, it used to be $249 deductible with your Samsung Care Plus. Now it's only $29, so I suppose that's nice. The display is still 6.7 inch and OLED, or Super AMOLED as Samsung calls it, and it ships in the default vibrant mode. You can put it in natural mode or whatever you want. It's a very nice looking screen. It's full HD plus resolution. It might look a little less clear, say, than an S22 standard design phone or an iPhone 13 because of that screen protector that has a little bit of glare on it. You know how screen protectors are, especially the PET, plasticky kind of ones. But overall, it looks really nice. And it is a taller and narrower aspect ratio, just like before. So something to adjust to, but still, to have a 6.7 inch phone that fits in your pocket, I can live with a little extra narrowness. The outer display is still the same 1.9 inches. I would love to see them do what Moto does with the Razr and take up more space. I know the reason they don't is because they're giving you more battery capacity inside. There's not room for both things to happen at once. But they have made it more useful. You got more widgets. You can only load Samsung widgets right now. There are third-party cover screen OS kind of things if you want to try that sort of thing. But there's a variety of Samsung widgets. I like the one that tells me my next appointment, shows me the calendar. You can get your health data. And now you have quick access by doing a swipe down to various toggles for your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth and all that sort of thing. And you can even turn on the flashlight. And thankfully, since the flash is right next to the outer screen, if you do that, there's a little delay so it doesn't instantly blind you by turning it on. So it's become pretty useful. And for those of you who are new to the Flip, yes, you can make and receive calls with the Flip closed. It will be in speakerphone mode unless you have some Bluetooth earbuds connected to it though, so just be mindful of that. So yes, you don't have to open the phone to answer a call. For connectivity, we have 5G, millimeter wave, and sub-6 as well, and Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon X65 modem, which has very good reception. So good to see that, and supposedly iPhone 14 is going to be using that modem too. It's a good modem, folks. So for those of you who live in dicey reception areas, it could help a little bit. And despite the fact this is a small phone, the antenna design must be pretty brilliant on it because it does have good reception. You can get it on all major carriers, and you can get it unlocked. The phone is IPX8 water resistant, but not dust resistant. I'm happy about the water resistance also because I like to give it a good cleaning because the screen protector does pick up fingerprints more than just bare naked glass does. So be careful in the dust. If you go playing in the beach, maybe put it in a baggie or something like that. I don't know. I haven't had any particular problems. I do occasionally do things like saw wood around it, you know, and all that, but you should be careful. You have a USB-C port on board. But we still don't have Samsung DeX. The Fold 4, like the Fold 3, has DeX. This does not. It might be a heat issue, I'm thinking, because being such a thin phone, thermal dissipation is a challenge here. Mind you, though, in playing games now, it doesn't get hot like the last generation one, and the performance is quite good on this. Now, the benchmark's similar to the Fold 4, which has the same processor inside, but if you're pushing it really hard, it will thermal throttle some. But I don't think any normal person is going to notice it. I mean, I can play Genshin Impact and other demanding games, and I don't see like frame rate stutters or problems, but it's a thing. Another thing is you get Wi-Fi 6, which is great, but you don't get Wi-Fi 6E. For those of you who care about that, the Fold 4 will do that, but not the Flip. Of course, you have NFC, Bluetooth, Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay works without, or now called Samsung Wallet, works without even having to open the phone. If you want to use Google Pay, you will have to open the phone when using it to pay for your biometric authentication. The phone is running Android 12L with Samsung's OneUI 4.1.1. Of course, all of that will change as software updates get released. We have stereo speakers on board. They're not bad, actually. First gen Flip had a mono speaker that was pretty disappointing, but this sounds pretty good. Not quite as loud as an S22 Ultra again, but as fair as it is to compare it to the most ginormous phone, I don't know. Price stays the same at $999, so it's the same price as like your S22 family of phones, not the Ultra, which is more expensive than that, so there's that. The camera is decent, but it's not maybe what you would hope for a $1,000 phone, which has been true of the Flip and the space limitations of the design, all that kind of thing. That's not to say it takes bad pictures. I mean, look at the pretty pictures that I took of a very pretty place with it. It's competent enough. The main camera has now larger pixel size, so it does better in low light, noticeably better. So it's a little bit tweaked, it's a little bit improved. The ultra-wide camera is 12 megapixel, it's the same as the last generation, and it's decent. There is no telephoto lens, unlike the Fold 4 or most other $1,000 and up phones these days. So yeah, but honestly, I think normal people will be happy with it, but people who are real photography mavens, well, for you it's the S22 Ultra or the iPhone 13 family of phones and soon to be 14. So there's that, but they're nice enough. And the video quality, you can do 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second. And again, you can see the sample footage here. It's not bad at all, actually. So that's the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. As ever, like I said, you know me, I love folding phones. This is just satisfyingly easy to keep in my pocket and keep the phone with me. Granted, these days with smartwatches like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, you might feel like you don't need that as much, and that's fair as well. But I do find that I don't leave the phone behind as much. I like that. I do find that with lady-sized pockets, it's a lot easier to carry with me. There's no pocket vasectomy if you're a guy. There's no squirting out the top because it's a super tall phone like some of today's phones. All of those things, yet having a big 6.7-inch display and most of the features you would expect from a flagship phone, except for, well, telephoto camera, are here. So I still think it's pretty nifty. At the $999 price point, and with Samsung's aggressive trade-in offers and promotions and all that kind of thing, you can get into it for a lot less. If you're fold curious or flip curious, now might be the time. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos and hit the notification bell so you know about them.